Hey crypto friends, for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Garrett and I am a crypto day trader whose overall goal here with my channel is to simply help other traders in the most simplistic ways as possible. So in today's educational video, I am going to be sharing one of my favorite indicators that will get you to stop staring at the charts for hours on end and you can start profiting on the smaller time frames. And for those of you who love trading crypto and would like to try out the same crypto exchange that I use on a daily basis, feel free to go ahead and try out the Blowfin exchange with the link in the video description down below this video. I personally love this exchange because they allow anybody from anywhere to be able to sign up and trade crypto futures. So if you are one of those people and you want to trade crypto futures, you can do it right here on the Blowfin exchange. Now guys, before we go ahead and dive into this video, for those of you who watch my channel regularly, you guys all know how much I love my personal strategy, which is why I talk about a lot, and I mean a lot of different variations of this strategy on my channel, simply because at the end of the day, it works so damn well, at least for me anyway. So guys, the very first thing that we are going to be doing here is, you know what, we are just going to go ahead and pick a random coin here. Let me see here, we're just going to go ahead and, we'll just pick HNT. So helium HNT. All right. So we've got HNT open here on the 1 hour chart. Now, the first thing we are going to do is we want to go ahead and mark out our important support and resistance levels here on the 1 hour chart. All right. We aren't going to be trading the 1 hour chart. We're going to be trading the 5-minute chart. But when you are setting your support and resistance levels, you want to do it on a larger time frame. All right. Now, since we are trading an extremely small time frame like the 5-minute chart, we want to put our support and resistance levels on a time frame that's, you know, still larger than the 5-minute, but not super large as in like the daily chart or the weekly chart or something like that. So here we are on the 1 hour chart. We'll go ahead and create some big support and resistance levels here. We're going to make these larger ones. By larger ones, I'm talking about like the ones on the 1 hour chart here. We're gonna make the ones on the 1 hour chart here in a orange color. So we've got resistance up there, we've got support down here. Let me go ahead and make that, there we go. Now it's a little more in line. And then we've got, let's see here, we've got good support right, or good resistance right around in here as well. And then let's see here, we have got, let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. Make this a little bit bigger for you guys. All right, and then we have got all kinds of other small little areas in here as well. Let me go ahead and mark this one as well. Let's see here, these smaller ones, we've got one right in here. And then we've got another one right down in this area as well. All right, I feel like that's enough. That's enough for right now. I can get my point across in this video just with that many. So we are on the 1 hour chart. We've got, you know, basic support and resistance levels all marked out. Now we will go ahead and we will move to the 5-minute chart. Now, here is what I want to talk about here. All right. So as you can clearly see, we've got all of these support levels in line all the way down here. Now, what we want to do here on the 5-minute chart is we want to create some support and resistance levels that are more short term. All right. So what we're going to do here is we are going to, since the overall market is looking like it's dropping right now for this coin, we want to go ahead and set some support levels. So as we can clearly see right here, let's see, we've got support right in here. So these smaller local levels we will make blue, all right, just so they're a different color here. So we'll make that one blue. We'll go ahead and make this one blue right here. And we will go ahead and make, let's see here, right here at the bottom of this one. All right, so we've got some local support and resistance levels to work with here. All right, now let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger and we will start working here. All right, so the next thing we're going to be looking at here is this 7-period SMA. All right, the 7-period SMA is the main indicator that I use in all of my trading. All right, I use this indicator all the time. Everywhere I trade, any time frame I trade on, I'm always using the 7-period SMA. All right, and the simple reason why is because I absolutely love this indicator. It's what's worked best for me all along, and it's one of those indicators that just it just makes sense to me. All right, it's pretty simple too. I mean, when price action is bullish, hey, we've got price action on top of the moving average, and when price action is bearish, the price action is below the moving average. With obviously we get retests in the middle here of these downward slopes. Goes up to retest the moving average, it fails and goes back down even further. All right, the same thing happened right here. We got down to the bottom here, and we went back up to test the moving average, and it tried to go back up, and it tried to go up and tried to breach this area once again, but it completely failed and it ended up going back down again. All right, so that's what I'm talking about here when I'm talking about retests, and these are all different types of things you want to look at. When I'm trading the 5-minute chart on any given day, one of the very first things that I tend to do is I will always, after I'm done marking out my support and resistance levels and stuff like that, I will always back test and kind of see what the market has been doing. All right, which is what I was technically doing just there. All right, you're looking for these little areas of, okay, well, momentum ended up coming down, then it went back up to retest, but it failed, so momentum continued to drop right there. All right, and then momentum ended up picking up back up again, but it was not enough to go all the way back up to its high up here to push even higher. So therefore, it ended up coming back down again, and then once again, we got up to the moving average here. We ended up crossing it a little bit, but we didn't have enough to breach this high right here, so we ended up coming back down again. All right, so overall, we can conclude here that the overall sentiment here is bearish. All right, so we want to be looking for potential signs of a possible reversal to the upside or movement to the upside again. So that is where these support levels come in at. All right, and as you can clearly see right here, price action is kind of moving sideways right now, like it was right in here, and it's doing it right on this support level that we've got going on right here as well. So the way that you want to be looking at this is the first thing you want to look for is you want to look for price action to breach this moving average here. All right, if price action breaches this moving average right here, that tells you that momentum is starting to build. Obviously, you can see that happening right in here. All right, so one spot or one area where you can take a potential long, I guess you could say, if you're trading the futures market. If you want to take a potential long here, wait until price action crosses above this moving average here. All right, now if you do end up doing this, you need to make sure that your stop losses are extremely tight, so that if it ends up coming back down, you don't end up losing a lot of money in your trade. All right, again, when you're scalping the crypto market on these 5-minute charts, the goal is not to win every single trade. All right, no trader ever wins every single trade. The goal isn't to win every trade. The overall goal here is to make sure that your winning trades are a lot larger than your losing trades. Okay, for example, if you're scalping and you end up doing like 4 trades a day, and 2 of those trades are wins and 2 of those trades are losses, you need to make sure that those 2 losing trades are a much smaller percentage than the amount that your winners gained. Okay, so for example, if you ended up winning a total of 20%, I guess you could say, between those 2 winning trades, but your 2 losing trades ended up netting you about, I don't know, we'll just say 12%, you're still in profit by about 8% for the overall day. All right, so that's kind of what I'm talking about here, and that's kind of the overall goal with scalping the crypto market, because realistically, there's a lot of people out there that do not use stop losses, and instead they end up with larger losses than their overall winning trades. Okay, so that's why I say it is extremely important to make sure that your winners are always much, much larger than your losers, and why stop losses are extremely, extremely important when you are trading or when you are scalping the crypto market on these smaller time frame charts like the 5-minute here. So what we want to be looking for here is we want to look for a bounce off of this local support level right here. If we do end up bouncing here and it ends up going above this moving average here and above this macro support level right here, or now resistance level, then it is a good possible chance to potentially go long. Now, if you wanted to wait for a little extra, even more confirmation, you can wait until price action gets above this higher level here, which would basically confirm that there's, more momentum coming in, and we're probably going to end up going even higher to potentially this level up here, or maybe even this level up here. All right, so if that were to be the case, let's say, for instance, hypothetically, Price action ended up going up, crossing the moving average, crossing above this macro resistant, now resistance area, and you ended up getting in somewhere around here, all right? And you ended up riding it all the way to the top. You'd profit right around 1.65%. Now, if you were using like 10x leverage right there, you would have made roughly, 16, 17% somewhere around there. Or if you were using 20x leverage, it would be double that number. So realistically, you can start to see where the profits come in these small periods of time, because a lot of the times when you're trading these 5-minute charts, you will make these candles, or these candles will move within small time frames, like 15 minutes right here. All right. For instance, this little move right in here, if you ended up getting in on this trade once it crossed above this, once it crossed above the moving average right here, and you ended up getting in like right here or something like that, and you rode it all the way to the top up here, you would have made roughly around, let's see here, 14% within a matter of 10 or 15 minutes. That is a damn good profit for just 10, 15 minutes of trading right there. All right. You can't beat that. All right. So again, you want to wait for overall confirmations. And now the way you want to take profits here is there's two ways to take profits. All right. You can either take profits when price action either reaches one of these resistance areas, or you can take profits when price action ends up becoming extremely far, it ends up deviating far, far away from the moving average itself. For instance, right in here, you can clearly see price action went all the way up, and at this point in time, we're extremely far away from the moving average. Usually when that happens, 9 times out of 10 when that happens, it means momentum is going to start getting weaker, and it's going to end up coming down at some point in time very, very soon. And as you can clearly see, once it deviated super far away, it ended up coming all the way back down. All right. And the same thing happened right up in here. All right. Now, as you can clearly see, this one went a little higher than, a lot of the other ones did, and that's okay, because realistically, again, back to the overall crosses, if you were to have ended up getting in on this one when it ended up crossing over, you would have ended up getting into it probably right around, realistically, probably right around in this area somewhere. Right around in this area when it actually went back down, and it ended up price action ended up crossing over into the downside a tiny, tiny bit, but the next candle ended up opening up, and it cleared the previous candle, and it went all the way up to the resistance level and continued even higher. So realistically, you probably would have gotten in right around in this area somewhere. All right. So if you were to have gotten in somewhere right around in here, and you rode it all the way to, let's say, right here instead, and you didn't make it all the way to the top because you thought it was pretty far deviated from the moving average right here, guys, you still would have made roughly around 32% with 10x leverage right there, or possibly around 60% with 20x leverage. So as you can clearly see, there's all kinds of different ways that you can read this stuff just by using basic support and resistance and this 7-period moving average right that I've got going on right here. All right. And if we go ahead and do a little back testing here, we'll go ahead and do a little bit of back testing here. Just to show you the power of this moving average right here, because I absolutely love this thing. Again, we're looking for crosses here, all right? So the overall cross, now here's the thing, all right? This cross right here, all right, we had ended up crossing over. If you would have ended up getting into it and you ended up going all the way down, I mean, realistically, if you ended up getting out way down in here somewhere, you would have profited about 11%, somewhere around there, whatever. That's still good profit, all right? But a lot of you probably would have, stayed in it because you didn't think that it was going to continue to go, or you thought it was going to continue to go even further down because it was just one bar that went down. And usually with a down slope, there's a lot more than just one bar that goes down. All right. So the way that we mitigate that is with our support and resistance levels. So again, we would have had, let's say none of this price action right here existed at the time. So none of this price action existed at the time. Therefore, we would have had the local support and resistances drawn up. So I would have had a support level right down in here, right at the bottom of this bit, right at the bottom of this little downslope right here. I would have had one at the bottom of all of these little downslopes right here. One right there, one right there. And then at the tops of them as well, there's one right there, one right there. And so as you guys can clearly see, price action ended up coming all the way down, and it literally stopped at the bottom of this local support area right here. All right. So that is another way that you can tell, once again, like I was explaining before, that's another way that you can easily tell where you could have potentially gotten out of the trade. All right. So once price action ended up coming all the way down here and it started to wick back up again, when it starts to wick back up again like that, that tells you right there that bullish momentum is starting to come back and people are starting to buy within these levels right here. And you should probably get out of your short trade right there. All right. So that's overall how you can tell based off of support and resistance levels here. Overall, it's it's really not hard to do. It just takes some time to kind of understand and grasp what the candlesticks are doing in relation to the moving average and the support and resistance levels as well. But 9 times out of 10, price action does end up respecting these support and resistance levels and respecting the moving averages as well. So you have that to look forward to when you are, looking to trade with this system yourself as well. So overall here, guys, I hope that I gave you guys enough information to be able to grasp this strategy by yourselves. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to go ahead and reach out to me on Twitter and ask me anything you would like. You can find me at Garrett_N_stuff. I use this strategy all day long, every single day. It works for me on every single time frame as well. I'm usually trading the 5-minute or 15-minute charts, but I also do trade the 4-hour charts and the daily charts and the weekly charts as well. And I use the same strategy for every single time frame, and it works out great for me. So again, if you guys have questions or anything, feel free to go ahead and reach out. I love helping people. It's what I do best. So yeah, feel free. But before I go ahead and wrap up this video, if you guys enjoyed this one and you feel like you got some decent value out of it, please be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the like button below the video, and leave me a comment below on your personal thoughts of this video. And with that said, for those of you guys who stuck around and watched this entire video throughout the whole thing, thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I hope to see you all in my future videos.